Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Shelf Musings Podcast. Today we have with us someone very special. We did not expect this to happen. We were very surprised, and the minute it did, we were like, yes, who says no to opportunity like this? So,
Thank you.
welcome, Mr. Susmit Sen. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
I'm very fine. Very, very fine.
So, before we start any kind of introduction, we usually ask this very nice question about what music are you listening to today?
Today,
Yeah, today or recently a song or artist that's stuck in your head.
it's been a while that I've listened to music. Um, in fact, because of death of Zubeen Garg,
Yeah.
I have listened to a few of his songs. And apart from that, I've faced a lot of music, so I try and stay away from it as much as possible.
Keep yours as original and fresh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
That's very true. But when I started playing the guitar and started simulating the Indian classical people and so on for about 3 or 4 years, I stopped listening to music completely.
Okay.
Whatever would come to me from far away, I would listen to that. But consciously, I had stopped listening to it so that I could build my own style.
Did you think it affected your, like, the way you would interpret your music a lot?
Obviously, that's the reason. That's the reason I didn't want to get influenced. So, otherwise, what I've seen by and large, what happens is that people listen to a lot of great guitar players and so on. Whereas for me, the unsaid gurus have been Indian classical exponents. So I've never learned music. So that's how it came.
I listened to this very nice tidbit of a rumor that you started playing the guitar because of your brother. Would you
true.
expand, please?
Look, I do not know. Now that you are asking me this question, it's quite apparent that you know the whole story.
I don't know the whole story. I've been told this, and I found it very cute as a detail.
So basically, my brother got a guitar.
Okay.
My father gifted it to him, and I remember he got it from Bombay. And in those days, it was called Bombay and not Mumbai. So the guitar used to lie around, and that's when I started fooling around with it. So that is the thing. And if I go a little forward from there, when I saw my brother strumming a few chords and his friends and singing some Beatles and Bob Dylan, I saw that they are getting pretty popular amongst women. And that also something that actually attracted me. But when I started playing my style, when I started simulating what I heard of the Nikhil Banerjees and the Ali Akbars, nobody was interested. They used to run away. People wanted to listen to whatever they have heard earlier. So that's what it was.
So then how did that translate into you becoming a musician full time? Because this seemed like something you just picked up out of, oh, that looks kind of cool. I want to do that. And then realizing, oh, not cool for me. Why? And now being like, no, I'll make my own music. It will be cool.
I mean, there are loads of reasons to that. You cannot possibly pinpoint one particular aspect of it. But the way when I started listening to Indian classical music, which was during my late school days, the way they could transport me to another world, that is something that attracted me to music. And that is what I wanted to do, to have that poise and to have the ability to be a storyteller through my music.
Okay. Did the introduction to Indian classical, did that come on your own as a discovery, or were you introduced to it by someone around you?
By somebody else, a close friend of mine. Her father used to go for all these concerts, and I used to follow.
So an entry point, you had the perfect entry point. You had a guitar at home, you had someone to take you to all these beautiful influences.
Then I did not have somebody to take me. I used to tag along.
They took you along.
Yeah.
They could have left you behind.
That's true.
So then Indian classical became your thing.
Then what happened was that some of the best stalwarts, the biggest stalwarts in Indian classical were performing at their best at that point of time. From Bhim Sen Joshi, Mallikarjun Mansoor, Ali Akbar Khan, Nikhil Banerjee, then Kumar Gandharv. And I had the opportunity and the luck to have witnessed them live, not just once or twice, many times. So that kind of changed my outlook towards music completely. Yeah.
Did it make it feel more accessible for you to pursue?
Accessible or not, it attracted me. It was not accessible. Look, those days there was no internet, no social media. So one would have to wait for those performances to happen. There were Indian classical festivals that used to happen. So I used to go for all of them. First few times I did tag along with my friend and her father. But from then onwards, it was a completely different story.
I'm trying to piece together like this little puzzle piece of, okay, you start here, then this goes here. You've discovered something that feels very true to your calling. How do you take it forward from there? What steps keep happening in your life that leads you to become the guitarist you are today?
Okay, so when I started playing and I could kind of make the guitar sound like an Indian instrument, so that made people's heads turn towards me a little bit. But what happened very naturally to me, that I started composing. And when I started composing, each composition had a very different, effect on people, different textures, different beat patterns. So, and then I realized that each time that I'm composing something new, it is not sounding similar to what I had done before that.
Yeah.
And that particular process continued throughout my life. So that's how it happened.
Yeah. That sounds like a self-discovery process with every song.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you then move forward to collaborating with other people and just piecing together your little bands?
So it was difficult. It was difficult because initially when I did compose a few numbers, which I used to play solo, right? Then I wanted to collaborate with people. So the first person who I collaborated with was Oshim, because I met him at a common friend's place. And he heard me play, and then I asked him, would you like to come and jam? And he agreed immediately, and then we started jamming. So it was my compositions that we used to sit down and we used to develop those and so on. But then I realized one thing, that, Indian classical, I loved Indian classical. Obviously, even today, that is one music that I will never shy away from listening to. What I realized, that Indian classical does not have the expanse of sound that the Western music was offering, right? Especially band music, and even orchestral music, choirs. So I wanted to have that power along with the compositions that I was. So therefore, I wanted to form a band.
And
so
that's
at that
where
point
fusion came in.
Fusion, I don't call my music fusion at all. That's a completely different connotation.
Yeah.
But that is where the problem started. The problem started because at that point of time, there was nobody doing original music. Nobody. Okay. And when I asked people to come and play with me, they used to shy away. Just because I had certain amount of skills, they thought that it'll be good to have me as a lead guitar player or something. But when I used to tell them that either I will play my compositions or your compositions, no covers, they ran away. So it took me a long time to finally form Indian Ocean.
Yeah, but when it did it feel like puzzles finally clicking in place? Like this seems like the right
Not
direction?
immediately, but it happened, obviously, yes. Within the first year, within about 8-9 months, I recorded a demo tape so that I could send it to different music companies, labels, so that they will produce my album. So a lot had gone in.
Was the label search easy? Because in that era, original music was definitely difficult.
Yes, it was. Look, out there, I would say that there was a streak of luck that I came about. I was on my way out of working for these corporate houses. And since I was interested in music, I thought that my I should work for a music company. So I started working with HMV.
Oh,
And
okay.
it so happened that right after I had formed the band, my indirect boss, somebody called VT Ravi, he asked me.
Hmm.
I was in charge of repertoire also, as far as north of India is concerned. So he asked me, listen, I believe that you play the guitar and you compose. He did not know that I compose. So he asked me, can you please find out who are the bands in Delhi who would like to record and they are doing their original stuff. So I asked a lot of other so-called friends, gathered certain amount of that music and sent it to VT Ravi, and who was to sit in Calcutta because the head office was.
Did you also sneak in your band?
Exactly. I sent my recording also along with that. Right. And he chose to produce that particular number. I had not told him that it was my own. But then I had to tell him that this is my band. He said, damn good. So that's how it got released.
So it aligned pretty well back then.
Sorry?
It aligned pretty well back then for
Yeah,
it to happen.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did that go then that recording?
Well, it got produced and it did very well.
Yeah.
It did very well in the first album in those days to sell more than, about 40,000 cassettes was unthinkable.
It was insane. It was hard for someone not known to do that.
Yeah.
Someone completely new.
Yeah. But then comes the story beyond that. Because then we thought that, wow, now we become musicians, you see. People will now approach us. But nothing of that sort happened. We went back. I went back to these music companies and they told me on my face that just the first album was a fluke. The second album will definitely be a flop. That's what was given, told to me. ठीक है, अब क्या कर सकते हैं? So the band was there and
made second album.
We made this. That was also another fluke. You see, second album के लिए तो पैसे चाहिए ना. हाँ. So first one तो we recorded it in Dum Dum HMV studio, historical studio, I would say. So it so happened that we were going on stage on the 1st of January. You know Sehmat? Sardar Hashmi Memorial, whatever.
Okay.
So they, on his death anniversary, it's 1st of January, they always have a show in Mandi House.
Yeah.
So we were asked to perform there. And just before going on stage, something came to my mind. I told the sound engineer that here is the DAT tape. In those days, we used to have DAT tapes. Okay, digital audio tapes. So I gave it to him and just recorded it and forgot about it. So we performed. It was a great performance and people really loved it. We also loved playing. So some friend said, can I hear that recording? So at that point of time, we made cassettes from that and sent it to him. So he turned around and said that this is a releasable thing. It is releasable. Why don't you release this particular thing? So then we heard it, okay, carefully. And then we realized that, yes, this is releasable. So again, going back to the companies, they said, live music? You think Indians will listen to live music? So that was shunned away completely. So just because I was working in HMV at that point of time, and by that time I was just about to, I had already resigned from my job, and I went back to one of the dealers who had sold our first album. So his name is Naresh Bhatia. So he said, Susmit, I don't want to listen to your music, but I will release it because I've sold so many of them. I will form a company and release it. So a company called Independent Music was formed, and he released it. Now he was just a dealer, right? A wholesaler. So he did not have the spread like that he will sell all around the country. Only people would come from maybe Jaipur, Pushkar, Lucknow, Kanpur. They would come and buy. So he started selling that, and that turned out to be another massive hit. with the limited reach
Limited
that he
reach
had.
that he had. Yeah.
And then one day we got to know a friend of ours came from Kathmandu and said that, hey, listen, this is a counterfeit of your album, selling in Kathmandu. And on that, it was written that the copyrights belong to some person in Hong Kong
Oh God.
or Bangkok. So that's the time I said, okay, fine. When your product is being
Counterfeit so quickly.
yeah. So then probably we have a right, but that's not the case. It took a long time for us to.
It's a gradual build.
It was a gradual build, and there's something very unfortunate that even when Kandisa, you've heard of Kandisa? So then the next album was Kandisa. So after Desertry, that's the second one, which our friend released. That's the time the music companies started talking to us. Before that, they
Kandisa
didn't
also
even
had a
want
lot of songs that were deemed iconic even after years later.
Yeah. So even the first two albums, there was Melancholic Ecstasy, there was Village Damsel. The people who even now people talk about it and they ask for them when I go live. Kandisa happened, and Times Music, there was half-page ads on the front page of Times of India, and we were overjoyed, thinking that now we are going to make it big. But it so happened that Times of India wanted to sell the music. They did not want to sell the band. So Kandisa was written in big font. Somewhere right at the bottom, Indian Ocean was written, which nobody would actually read. So Kandisa became famous, but not the band. So many years later, when we used to play Kandisa, I said, oh, is it your song? So that's how
I'm imagining the amount of people who heard you play it and be like, oh, they're very good at this cover.
Yeah, we were damn good at our own covers.
Yeah.
Then the unfortunate part is that our popularity started really growing once we became a hit abroad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very unfortunate thing.
That's a thing till date. Like if something here doesn't work here, but it works out there.
Yeah.
The minute it comes back, it's our favorite thing. It was always our favorite thing. What are you talking about? This was the best thing we ever created.
Absolutely. So then we went to Edinburgh. We became the pick of the fringe. And then suddenly we saw that things have turned around. And not this that we were doing any different kind of music. It's the same music, but just because you get a stamp from outside India, and especially the Western world. Unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah, and it's still prevalent. Still pretty prevalent. And it's not just India. I think it's a lot of these non-first world countries. Any of their exports, the minute they hit the States or the European market and they work, changes the scenery for them instantly. But how was it then touring outside more before cementing yourself here?
Well, nothing got cemented. I mean, we were not cemented in India. We were not cemented outside.
Yeah.
So every tour used to be organized by different organizers. There were a few shows that happened through ICCR. And then we were performing in different festivals all across the world. So initially, we used to go on a shoestring budget. I remember, to the extent the first time I went to the US and I boarded a domestic flight out there. And I asked for water and they said $1 for that. I said, I'm not going to pay $1 for water. So I waited for the trolley to come and I asked them to give me a glass of ice. And I waited for the ice to melt and then I drank the water. So that's the kind of, it also spoke about, how much money we had in our pockets,
It must have been like a space of not just like, oh, are we making it, and still lined with so much insecurity and still trying?
It was not insecurity. We were traveling, we were performing. In fact, our first tour to the US, it was in 2002. This was right after the Twin Tower massacre that happened. So we played at various different places. So we were invited by the Smithsonian Festival. Smithsonian, Smithsonian,
Yes,
the
yes.
museum. So at that point of time, um, somebody organized a show at a place called the Bitter End in New York,
Okay.
the Village area.
Yeah.
Village area, there's South Manhattan.
The Bitter End.
The Bitter
Okay.
End. Okay, I think it still exists.
The name's quite fun.
So, and then we read the names of the people who had already performed there. Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and so many others. I think there were Allman Brothers, so many bands. I could recognize about 40 of them, right? And therefore it was a popular place. In fact, Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, their debut in New York was at the Bitter End.
Oh.
Okay. After we finished playing, the owner came and said, listen, for the last 20 years, I've been listening to at least 3 acts every day. You guys are special. I want to book you for 3 weeks.
Must have felt lovely.
It felt lovely,
It
but our tour was already fixed. We could not take it up.
Did he let you come back?
The next time we came back, was it the first time or the second time? I don't remember. So B.B. King Theatre is a very sought after theatre that people want to play in. It's a beautiful theatre, no doubt about it. So when we went there, they very reluctantly gave us some weekday, either Wednesday or a Thursday or something. So when we played there, the place was not just chock-a-block, but there were another few hundred of people still standing outside the auditorium. Okay, at that point of time, they turned around, who the hell are these people? So from then onwards, whenever we went back, we didn't even tell them earlier. We used to go there and say that we want to perform. So they used to shift things for us.
Yeah, because they've had a guarantee, like, okay, people will show up now.
Absolutely.
It's not a loss-making endeavor anymore.
Yeah. So that's how it happened.
Then you shifted coming back. After that tour, you came back and you did more, I guess?
Oh yeah, we did. We played a lot outside the country. Lot.
Yeah.
Lot. I think just in the US, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure what's the number, about 200 shows there.
Yeah. Like if I were to think of like bands from here that have made it outside and for that long too, I don't think I could name a lot more, but yours would come up pretty quick. Like if the conversation starts there, people would not start anywhere else other than Indian Ocean, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which must be a very surreal feeling to you, even now. Because comparative, after all these years.
It's a very pleasant feeling, I would say. Surreal or not, I do not know. But yes, yeah. We did tour a lot. We were called back to the same places time and again. And if, it costs people money to get us all the way there and so on. So if people were calling us back, that means our music was effective.
Yeah. But then how do you shift gears from Indian Ocean to then being Susmit Sen Chronicles?
You have to shift gears. I mean, how? Meaning what? Obviously, I mean, the reason that I left the band.
Yeah, of course.
So, and I thought I would be able to do more, much more with another set of people. So it continues. I still want to explore newer aspects. Maybe some of my compositions I had made keeping a philharmonic orchestra in mind. So those are the avenues which are still there for me to explore.
It gives you a more creative liberty here.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how did you put together a separate set of band, like a completely separate band, while you were in process of leaving or before leaving, I'd say? I'm not quite sure of the timeline.
Yeah, it was before I left Indian Ocean. I had already started this particular band. Because there was a bit of frustration in me. Like Depths of the Ocean is one of the very popular and numbers Whenever I play, people want that. Now, Depths of the Ocean I had composed before I formed Indian Ocean,
Yeah.
sometime around 1985. So there were elements which I was not being able to do while being in Indian Ocean. So a lot more things were in my mind.
Yeah.
And it was far more, what should I say, musically oriented rather than lyrics oriented.
How did that go down? Like still being in a band, trying to collect people for another band, and then exiting and trying to create a sound that works for you.
It worked fine. I mean, how can I answer that question? Maybe you can rephrase that particular question.
Okay, so was it like a complex process of trying to eliminate, oh, this sounds more Indian Ocean as compared to this sounds more me?
Look, Indian Ocean sound, the basic sound of Indian Ocean is, it was all centered around my guitar because I started the band, and every composition was made on the guitar, and then other things followed around it. I was not trying to run away from myself or my sound. I was wanting to make newer music, which I did with my band. That's Susmit
How did
Sen
you find
Chronicles.
these people?
Very difficult to say. I was running a studio, so there were a few youngsters who used to come to that particular studio. So then I, with the first album that was Depths of the Ocean, I asked people around who's going to play the drums and who's going to. People at that point of time they were more than happy to play with me. So it was not a very difficult process to form the band. Look, forming a band is not difficult ever.
Keeping it?
Keeping it is what is difficult. Okay. So therefore, even in Chronicles, there has been a lot of changes as far as the lineup is concerned. But the first album, to get the correct people and do it, it did not take me much time. Because I already had the compositions, you see.
Yeah. You did mention writing it, like creating it way before Indian Ocean started.
There were quite a few numbers which were there while I was with Indian Ocean. Quite a few. Like if you have seen a film that was made on us on Indian Ocean called Leaving Home, towards the end, I am playing certain compositions which later came into my album as a.
What do you think stopped those songs from integrating within that band?
Look, everything that you create, any creation or any entity, builds its own inertia. And to break away from that becomes very difficult. But the whole concept of composition and composing and creating is to be able to break away. Only then you can create certain things. Right?
That's a
So
lovely
when
way to put it.
when the inertia kind of holds you back, then you know that it's time for you to go.
Yeah. And I guess breaking away at that point did also create a sense of freedom within what you could create, things that you wanted to but couldn't.
Yeah, definitely so.
Yeah. How do you think, like a lot of people have mentioned, like have called the Susmit Sen Chronicles the second innings of a career, which I find very weird because it feels like a continuation of a career. It doesn't feel like a second innings at all. It feels like it's a ball that keeps rolling.
It's language, the way you want to use it. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you feel like it's like a second chapter?
Maybe it's the third or the fourth. I do not know. Because my first chapter was growing up. The second chapter was when I was working for 10 years for corporates. Third chapter was when I got into music full time. This could be the fourth.
Do you think there's going to be another one?
Who knows? Who knows?
Though it is interesting to see how, like, the first two albums came out not too far apart, right? And then there was like a pause where it felt like we were waiting for something. And then the next thing came out in 2025 where it was a collection of work.
24, 25, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azadi, yeah.
Azadi, yeah.
So why was there, what what were you doing in this little gap after 2014?
Money is a major factor. So the thing is that, when people paint, both my kids are painters, so I see them earning money. They sell their paintings.
Yeah.
Whereas you cannot sell your compositions. Okay, you are waiting for either the royalties to come in, but then what happened was, in between, don't forget, I did produce an album with this lady called Melanie Hardage from US, but those were reinterpretation of my compositions from earlier years. So but the interpretations were very different because it was with the piano. So that album did come out, and then pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Right. So that put a stop to a lot of creative processes. So creating an album costs a lot of money, especially for people like me who come from the, old school, where you play everything live. You need that kind of studio time. Whereas nowadays people make their own studios in their own home, and they're producing things without any cost. Okay, so that I'm technologically challenged. So I know about all the equipments, but I do not know how to operate them. So I have to have a sound engineer. I have to have a studio. I have to have a good studio. Right. And just anything is not going to help. So all these things make a lot of look. If there is money, if somebody tells me at this point of time, here is the money, produce the next album, I'll do it in the next 6 months again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you think that that pause time in between, did it did it feed the creativity more, or was there just a sense of, okay, I think there's a couple minutes to breathe, I guess?
This pause time meaning the pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic, I'll be very honest. I was almost scared to play the guitar, because each time that I hold the guitar, I play, my thought process immediately start making new compositions, new creations. And when I could not meet any of my band members, okay, it was very frustrating. So picking up the guitar meant that I'm going to lead myself to frustration. So for a long time, I did not play. But it so happened that after about a year and a half or something of that sort, a young girl filmmaker came to me to get music composed by me for a film that she was making. And I said, fine. So I composed the music, but then I thought that, I have not played the guitar for 1.5 years. How? I thought I'll go into the studio. Most of it was my solo guitar playing that was supposed to happen. And to be on the safer side, I said that please book about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was afraid that my fingers are not going to move. But they moved, and I finished the job in about 35 minutes. So that's something, maybe muscle memory and so many years of playing.
Stopping must be a very weird experience after playing for so long, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But coming back must have felt so relieving.
That is also there, but I have other things to also. I have other interests. So my energy, my mental energy, my physical energy was directed more towards other things. Maybe nature, it was maybe cuisine, cooking.
Anything to keep the mind going.
Yeah.
So before we move forward, we have this tiny segment of little stories I've collected, little past memories that I have been told are very fun and I should learn more about.
Okay.
Right? So I'd like to bring up a few.
Sure.
Right? And I'd like to know more as much as possible.
Sure.
So I have heard that your first demo, for that you had to sell a guitar. I don't know if it was your only guitar. I don't know if it was your first guitar.
That was my first electric guitar. I've been an acoustic guitar player throughout, but somehow something had told me that I should acquire an electric guitar. And it was a Mark II Studio Series, which I had bought secondhand from somebody. I don't even remember from where I bought it. So when I was going to record the first demo, and Somebody had promised me that he's going to pay for the recording. Again, see,
Oh.
payment comes in
Yeah.
everywhere. And at that point of time, my income levels were really very measly. So when I reached the studio and I am calling him on the landline, obviously there was no cell phone at that point of time. And he says, you know what, today there is some problem with the cash flow. Why don't you pay from your own pocket?
Uh-oh.
I will give you the money in a few days' time.
Did he?
No, so I realized that, listen, I don't have the money to pay it. That's why I was asking him to. So I checked my bank and I told him, look, I have got this much amount, which was falling short by about 3,000-4,000 in those days, right?
Yeah.
Right. It had costed me about 11,000-12,000 rupees at that point of time, 1990. I have a guitar. I will give it to the studio. Will you allow me to record? So they accepted that, and that was a barter.
Yeah, that wasn't even a selling.
Yeah. So I gave that guitar away and recorded the album, the
Demo.
which was like an album itself.
Yeah.
It's a good 40-45 minute long piece, which I recorded with my friends. Oshim was there, Shalin Sharma was there. There were two other bass guitar players. So within a day's time, about 8 to 9 hours, finished the complete recording.
Did you manage to get back the guitar?
No.
Did you buy another one?
No.
We have lost electric guitars from you.
So.
Okay. But it's quite interesting. Like a barter deal got you an entire album.
Yeah. So that particular recording got accepted by HMV, and that's why the first album happened.
Yeah. And I heard while you were there, you played with a lot of Rajasthani artists as well. You worked with them?
I worked with them. Firstly, when I was my first time that I worked with the Rajasthani folk musicians was when I was working with HMV. Since I was also heading the repertoire part of it. So I was asked to see exactly what are the different kinds of music that we could release. So at that point of time, whatever knowledge that I had, I realized that Rajasthani folk music is one of the most refined folk music, probably the most elaborate folk musical forms that is there in the world. So I went on a proper research and found out about the Langas and the Manganyars. So I went and heard them. What amazing musicians! But when I came back and I actually, it was almost like a thesis. I wrote down about 30-40 pages of handwritten stuff and sent it to the head office. They said, okay, good work, but we don't have the money to do this. There is a dancer called Gulabo who's becoming very famous. So why didn't you record them? And I tried to tell them, listen, they are dancers. And mostly they also dance to the music of the Langas or the Manganyars also. They have their own music too. But they are not actually musicians. No, she's becoming world famous, so we want to release that. So I was an employee, so I did it. It was great fun because going and staying with them in Jaipur, outskirts of Jaipur, getting the whole team, realizing what it is to record with folk musicians, because their concept of a studio, I mean, the studio,
they don't have a studio.
They don't have a studio. They don't have a concept of studio. So the moment they come in the confines of these four walls, they lose their naturality. So, I mean, there were lots of permutations, combinations. You could not use the click track at all with them. So all that happened. And it was a learning process also because being with them was really nice. But the funny part is, interesting part is that within a few months' time, Music Today came out with the folk music albums, and they were the Rajasthani Langas and the Manganyars. And you can't imagine how much they sold, in how many lakhs or maybe millions that they sold.
Was your boss like slightly...
In private jobs, nobody is responsible or accountable. I'll tell you another story. I was still working with HMB, and I had just come back to my office from Palika Bazaar. Right. In Palika Bazaar, I heard a beautiful song which was in Tamil.
Yeah.
Actually, I could not even recognize the language. So I heard it and I really loved it. I asked my dealer, "Do you have this song, this music?" He said no. So I followed that music and went to that shop which was playing it, and I bought that cassette. Very rarely have I bought cassettes or music from the market. And I'm walking into the office, and Vice President Marketing was sitting there. He had come from Kolkata at that point of time. And the moment he saw me, Susmit, come here. Went there. So what kind of music do you think we should be releasing? I immediately took out that particular cassette and I started playing it and gave him this guy called Rahman. I know he was offering this album to us for 10,000 rupees. But we have bigger ideas. We have bought Roop Ki Rani Choro Ka Raja for 3 crores.
Why is your company fumbling so many?
No, not my company.
Sorry, the company you worked for at that period of time.
So they fumbled. But the thing is that none of these people were accountable. You think that he was picked up. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Okay, he was actually one of the good guys that I have met during my working days. But nobody will, would have picked him up and said, "You rejected A.R. Rahman?"
Yeah, but it must haunt his consciousness sometimes late at night. Like imagine rejecting A.R. Rahman and you knowing you did that.
Look, my take on the corporate world is very, very different. So how many...
very cynical.
Yeah, it is kind of. Yeah. Because you see, when you are trying to sell art, firstly, if you are trying to sell art, the moment you industrialize an art form, you have killed it. Okay. And you may be the best marketing guy, the best person who has studied from the best management schools and so on. Ultimately, you are not the musician.
And your vision also gets kind of blinded by the ROI, quickest ROI.
Absolutely.
And then you forget that it's an art form.
Yeah. So, so people who are taking these decisions are not the people who can actually take creative decisions.
Do you think there would be a system where it would actually work, or do you think that's just an idealistic thought we all have? Because the industry has been a tough spot for a very long time.
So therefore, as I pointed out, that this industry is now an industry. It's no longer art. You're not trying to sell art out here. You're trying to sell a product. In fact, one person had very beautifully explained to me. I had asked one of the managers of a very popular artist, I would not name him, that why don't all these management guys who come out from, say, the IIMs and the ISBs or whatever, how come they are not the artist managers? They could have done so well. They could have, catapulted one ordinary person into a great musician or an artist. So he told me that, listen, all these guys have been trained to sell soap, to aeroplanes, to your earth movers and so on. But what they have not been told, that there is a product where the product can turn around and ask you questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Product can change tomorrow.
Absolutely. So the product has brains too.
Yeah. And the product sometimes doesn't care if it's marketable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But then it comes back again to the sustenance of how do you keep an art form alive without the industry selling it? To a certain degree, I'd say.
Look, you can. Look, the thing is that people who sell music, who sell these things, they think that they're doing a great favor to these art forms. But what they don't realize, how much harm they are also creating. Okay. A simple thing I'll tell you. Say about almost 35, 40 years back. When I worked with the Rajasthani folk musicians, I heard some of the most amazing compositions, folk compositions of theirs. Okay, the Kamaicha players, the Sindhi Sarangi players, and the singers. What amazing singers they used to be. Today, if you go there, you know, the today's generation of the musicians have forgotten most of those brilliant compositions because they want to only sing and play those things which is going to go and hit Coke Studio, right? Or somebody from Bollywood who's going to pick them up. But
More
just imagine the
palatable.
amount of repertoire that they've lost.
Yeah.
Because I had gone on a tour a few months back of Rajasthan, and I met a lot of these musicians. I asked them to play certain numbers, and they one or two they still did play, but most of it no. I have also forgotten quite a few of those names of those compositions.
So it's like a entire systematic fallout, not just
Yeah,
within.
so the in-depthness of the art form is now missing.
Yeah, because an industry has taught them that
Yeah.
you're not worth, you can't be sold as easily now, so you got to be more. I wonder if there's an idealistic way where an industry succeeds where there is enough care for the artist, but that is once again very idealistic.
Idealistic or flawed, I really would not be able to comment.
Yeah. But you've also had a hand in like bringing up a lot of like up and coming musicians. You've worked with a lot of them. You've staged a lot of them. Like I remember there being this very nice series you did called The Big Band Theory with the Iceberg Project. And you brought in a lot of like different independent artists, a lot of artists who hadn't had as long as a footing.
True. Look, Iceberg Project, the first version has a cello player, Tapan Malik, who was definitely not new. He's a brilliant cello player. He's a fantastic musician. Then there were two young boys who played with me. One was Varun, who's now a producer of music in Bombay, and the other one was Nishant Agarwal, who is also producing music, and he's also handling Piyush Mishra's band. So yes, those two people did appear for the first time on screen, probably with me.
Yeah.
So did Papon.
Yeah. Did you have the sense of responsibility of, they're associating here, they need, like, did you have like faith that it would go somewhere quick?
Quick or not, I like collaborating with new artists. Wherever I see that this person has the scope and has the feeling the correct way, then I love collaborating with them.
Do you still go about trying to discover new artists to work with then? Or do you just stumble upon them and decide, yay?
Both ways, I would say. I would say more stumbling on them rather than going searching. But yeah, like this last album, 2 songs have been sung by Pallavi, MD Pallavi, who's a very popular singer in Karnataka and all the South Indian states. So I worked with her during the pandemic because she had composed a song and she was not being able to get the correct. I mean, she was not happy with the kind of instrumentation various people were trying to give to it. So somebody asked her to get in touch with me, and that's the time I worked with her. And I really love her singing. She's an amazing, what a natural artist she is. So again, each time, like Gayatri is somebody who was introduced to me by Nishant Agarwal, who was the other guitar player in Iceberg Project.
Yeah.
Right. He got Gayatri. So again, when I heard her sing, wow. But it took her a lot of years to open up somehow, because of the work that I've done in the past. When people come and start singing in front of me, I've seen, they get cold feet. And it took a long time for her to open up, frankly speaking.
Do you like identify that cold feet and be like, okay,
Oh,
we need
yes.
to bring this person back
Oh, yes.
over
Oh,
and
yes.
over?
I had to keep telling those people, why aren't you opening up? That's not your voice. Your voice can go to the third building from here, but why can't I hear you from this close? No, I know that because I'm not a singer myself, although I used to sing at one point of time, but I've dealt with so many singers that I know when a person is not being able to bring out the best.
Are you very open to like artists just popping up to you like, hello, I would like to work with you, or hello, I have this, I want you to hear it. Hello.
I'm open to it, yes, but not this that I will work with them.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're very selective of even like, are you, no, let me rephrase it. If someone comes up to you and says, hey, this is my work, I really want to work with you, I'm new in this industry, how open are you to take a challenge if you like the work? Or do you hesitate before you open it and listen to it?
Look, firstly, I would see exactly how much depth that person, how much depth of talent that the person has, and secondly, again, I'm not a person who's going to sit on the computer and churn out the complete composition, right? So, does the person have the money to pay for the studio producer and all the musicians? And if you really want good musicians in today's date, if you go and want to work with a cello player or something,
Yeah.
they're not going to charge you anything less than 50,000 rupees, one person. So can you imagine the production cost of one song?
Yeah. How does it stay a self-sustaining model for you then over the years?
It is not. It is not. I have produced an album. I have spent a hell of a lot of money on this one. What am I going to do for the next one? I have no idea. This much I know, that if I do not get any kind of funding from somewhere, I'm not going to produce it. I will definitely want to see some money coming in from somewhere.
Do you think over the years it's this question of, is the money coming in for an album over the long career? Let's say way back when Indian Ocean was also a band. Was it always a question with each album?
Look, once Indian Ocean, the ball started rolling, then it kept happening. Like when the first album, HMV, they took us, they made us stay in a pigeonhole. That's a different thing. But at least they paid for our train tickets. They put us up and
bare minimums, all
bare
cleared.
minimums, and we recorded in that studio, which is, again, it has got major historic elements to it, including the fact that Ravindranath himself had recorded in that studio. And I was seeing some photographs of the studio, which happened recently, some other program that was happened, and it was recorded live. It looks quite the same still. And then again, nobody was a taker. Desert Rain happened. That was a fluke. Just because I happened to know somebody in the industry who was a wholesaler. And then came Kandisa, that was with Times Music. Then it was not tough to find people who would produce.
But then what of Susmit Sen Chronicles? Because there were two albums that happened really close. I'm assuming the ball had started rolling.
Yeah, it did start rolling. The first album actually was with EMI. Okay, but EMI is now shut down. So they had given me the money to produce the album. Ocean to Ocean. Ocean to Ocean, the name Ocean to Ocean happened because there was a collaboration with Bernie Marsden. Bernie Marsden was the lead guitar player for Whitesnake. Whitesnake at one point of time was way bigger than even Guns N' Roses. So anyways, it was great collaborating with him. So we did one number, we composed it together, and he suggested the name Ocean to Ocean, and therefore the album is also called Ocean to Ocean. At that point of time, HarperCollins came to me for an autobiography.
Yeah, with, let me guess, Sheba? Yes, with Sheba Imam.
Seba Imam was a co-writer. Right. So I said that, listen, the autobiography might happen after another 20 years. I'm too young for that. So I said I'll go for a repertoire.
A
Memoir.
memoir.
Memoir. So I wrote a memoir where Saiba Imam was the co-writer. Brilliant writer. So, and my trade-off was with them that, okay, fine, I'll write the book for you, but my next album should be a part of the book. So the CD came out with the book.
That's a smart deal. That's a smart deal.
So again, therefore, there was money there.
Yeah, because I was curious at what point does one decide to make a memoir in their life, because that is a very deliberate choice. How was it writing with someone else though?
Whether with someone else or all by myself, I can tell you one thing: the process made me hate myself because I had never spoken so much about myself. Right. So every day I used to wake up to think about only myself, which used to be quite a challenge, I must say. But having Seba was really I could give my heart out in telling her about all the incidents. What she did is what I do to my compositions. As she did the structurizing, the structure of the whole book. So what should come first, second, third. So that, as far as music is concerned, I'm extremely sure of what I'm doing. But when it comes to writing, that structure is all thanks to Seba.
Yeah. So before moving forward, I did want, as you were touching upon the albums and how they happened, how did Azadi happen then? Because the last
Azadi,
one was...
by and large, I paid from my own pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then...
Which I have no idea whether I'll ever even get 10% back or not.
Such is the music industry.
Yeah. But this is the last time that I've actually spent my own money. There were one or two people who did, put in a little bit, but that was nowhere compared to how much I spent. Yeah. Then comes another problem. You spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you want to market it, there are people who want to release my music because they love my music. Okay. So Songdu is the company that even Ocean to Ocean, they had released digitally, and this also they released digitally. So releasing is not a problem, but then you have to market it. Then you are told that whatever you spent on the recording, you have to spend at least 3 times more. At least 3 times more, only then it will get some kind of attraction in the market, which I don't have.
Yeah. I mean, it is a big investment. It's not an easy choice to make at all.
Yeah.
But then knowing that you had to take it all out of pocket, what made you make all these creative choices on the album?
Meaning?
There are multilinguistic elements.
Yeah.
There are interpolations coming in.
So these are all different questions. So firstly, multilinguistic.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was, one was a conscious choice that since I've moved to Goa, that I wanted to give back something to Goa. So therefore, 2 of the songs are in Konkani.
Yeah.
I don't speak or understand Konkani. So after composing the tunes, I got a person called Umesh Sardesai, whose father was a very famous Konkani writer. So he wrote these 2 songs, and he basically fitted those lyrics to the tune that I had already composed. So that's why 2 Konkani. The Tamil song was because Gayatri, who's been singing with me for more than 8 years, probably 9 years now, she is a Tamilian from Hyderabad. So when she heard the tune and we were going to record, she said, Susmit, can I write lyrics in Tamil? So yeah, surely, go ahead. She wrote some beautiful lyrics. I mean, whoever is interested, you can go. You will find the translation on YouTube and maybe some other things.
Yeah, we'll have
also.
a link.
Yeah.
Please.
And so that's how that came in. And the third number is in Sanskrit because it was written by Bankim Chandra. Okay. And Bankim Chandra, this is basically another interpretation of Vande Mataram Vande Mataram was written by him, which was, I mean, he came from the eastern part of Bengal, which is now
Yeah.
Bangladesh. The tune was given by V.D. Paruskar, who formed Gandharv Mahavidyalaya in Lahore, which is now
Yeah.
Pakistan. That's the name. That's why the name Azadi. Because in today's date, Azadi has different connotations. My way of asking or throwing the question to the audience, what do you think Azadi means? Is it inclusive or exclusive?
And having elements come in from parts that were quote
India
unquote.
earlier, but now they are not.
Yeah. Ties in a beautiful story. So, do you think that the album itself, right, the questions that it poses, do you have any answers that you've looked for within yourself before you ask those questions?
Sorry?
Did you answer these questions that you've asked others yourself first?
What kind of questions?
The
The question
cons- yeah.
that you are asking me.
Yeah, no. For
No.
example, say you've used Azadi to pose this great debate to happen, right? Have you come up with your answer or opinion of that debate before
Surely.
putting it out?
Surely. I do have my I won't say bias, my humanitarian way of looking at things. I don't believe in borders, and any kind of border, any kind of yeah. How should I
Divide
put
is
it?
counterintuitive sometimes for
Yeah,
a
border
holistic
is
sense.
what? You are constricting yourself. So it is detrimental for human growth, right? So more you have these various different kinds of constructs in your mind where you uh, are holding yourself back, be it language, be it border, be it so many other things. It could be, and borders can be of different kinds. It could be language hegemony, it could be monetary hegemony, it could be border hegemony, all kinds of things. So that itself makes a person quite restricted. That's why I keep talking about when you want to become a musician, first listen to a lot of music. I was lucky to have witnessed a lot of music from other parts of the world, say Russia, East Europe, Japan, Chinese. So that's because my father used to tour the world and he used to get me albums from different parts. So when I grew up and I saw so much of importance given to the Western kind of music, I still question the fact, what are you doing? And you people have blocked yourself up.
Yeah.
Open yourself to see there's far more expression lying there.
I see that you've held this opinion for a long time because I remember watching the TEDx video and you also reiterating a lot of this. And I guess, and it's quite sad to see how from early to 2010s till now, the question remains the same and the problem remains pretty much the same.
What is that?
The lack of the ability of people to open up to more spaces, the more music, the more experiences within life because they're stuck within these small little confines they're in.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself having these doors open up within your lifetime or within ours?
Within ours. Meaning?
Yeah, within ours, like the newer generation that's up right now.
Look, if it had not opened up within me, I wouldn't have created the kind of music that I have and that I'm still creating, right? So obviously there was some opening up within myself that had happened somewhere down the line, which where I could break the barriers, break rules. In fact, as far as music is concerned, since I have not learnt music, I did not know the rules, so it was not difficult to break them in any case. So as far as today's youth is concerned, that was your question, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in today's day there's a lot more awareness, but I also see a lot of the monetary hegemony, which is taking a huge toll on people's minds. Be it sports, be it the kind of things that they're consuming, food habits, everything. So that definitely, I think there is a lot of Western hegemony which is influencing the youth. of today.
Yeah. I'd like to see, I don't know how many artists right now are facing these same moral questions, but I'd like to see what would come of it once they figure their answers out. And hopefully it would be something interesting.
No, look, you are a part of that generation, right? So for me, I have my kids who are older than you. Although I have seen that there is a lot of openness that they have, but in certain aspects of their growing up and their thought process, I see certain amount of the hegemonies that have taken, shape within their minds also. But I'm glad that they at least have this whole concept of not getting bogged down by barriers.
Yeah.
That definitely is there.
Maybe the generation after us might be more.
Why do you say after you? Why not you?
I mean, I would love for all of us to yoink them down and have a more sense of freedom, but I am not a very hopeful person when it comes to this world sometimes.
Why wouldn't you be? You are asking such beautiful questions. Why wouldn't you be?
Well, hope. Now, before we move on from Azadi, there was one more question I had, right? So, you have this one lead song that has all these questions, right? And then you have three songs that are more multilingual and harder to access for.
No, but the other songs also, like what the lyrics that Gayatri has written, knowing that the whole song had this very haunting kind of a feel to it. Have you gone through the lyrics?
I have not looked at the translation.
So the
for
translation,
the Konkanis.
Without the translation, obviously you would not know. But you grew up in Coimbatore.
Yeah. The Tamil ones I'm pretty confident on. The Konkani ones I'm a bit.
Konkani ones you'll have to go through it. The Konkani ones are actually, both of them have a romantic twist to it.
Which is why I was
which is very very weird, because this is probably the first time that any of my compositions have a romantic touch.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a piece called Intimacy, which has, but it's a different kind of intimacy. It's not just romantic. It's the lyricist who has brought in the romantic aspect to it. Since I've not written the Gayatri's song is all about breaking free. It's about a woman saying that there is nothing in front of me. If
Gayatri sounds
insanely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
The melodies are also so.
Yeah. And then the end of the song, she's breaking away from it. She's then saying that, yes, I will lead my life, but in my own terms. So there is
Azadi in that sense.
Azadi in that also. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was more curious about the Konkani ones because, as you said, there was a touch that made them a bit different. Though, how did you end up in Goa? Before you touch upon that, because they are songs that you've written to give back to Goa.
So I went to Goa and then composed these two songs. Yeah. So what was the question?
Like, how did you end up settling down there and deciding, hey, I'm going to write music that gives back to this space?
Settling down is a very is a term which I am not yet very confident or comfortable with, because what do you mean by settling down? When are you settled? Maybe when you're gone. When you're gone, then you're settled, properly settled.
Properly.
Right. But till then, who knows what's going to happen?
But then why decide to make something that gives back to the space?
Because I love the place, and if they have accepted me, then why not have something in Konkani?
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, many people suggested to me, why are you doing this? Because Konkani is not a national language, and therefore you will, if people don't understand, it would not sell anywhere else. I ask people, I ask a question back to them, saying that, who understands Kandisa? Kisko मालूम है?
Interesting. That's a good way to answer that.
So if that's such a hugely popular song, I know people interpret क्या मालूम, they say that अरे ये तो संस्कृत में गा रहा है. संस्कृत में नहीं है, शुद्ध हिंदी है वो.
Yeah.
And
Like,
credit
there
goes
is
to Sanjeev Sharma. who was-
derivative languages. Okay. So now that I have somewhat of an answer of why, because I was also curious, like why? That seems like a very deliberate
what?
choice. The konkoni, the giving back. And now I see it's more free flowing with you.
Yeah.
Where if it speaks to you in the moment, it speaks to you. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. Now, speaking of making these choices, I had this question as I was going through your discography, right? Depths of the Ocean had so many people you were working with in terms of collaborators, right? And then when I looked into Ocean to Ocean, there was just you. Was this like a deliberate shift you made?
Look, the thing is that in Depths of the Ocean, I collaborated with people who I really respect as
Yeah.
musicians and as human beings also, right? So Papun was one, and obviously some of his first works he did was with me. And so he has been a friend, so I wanted him to be a part of the album. Shubha Mudgal, I've always respected as a person, as a musician, as an artist. So she's a part of that. But also the compositions were such
Okay.
that I wanted that kind of, say Mazhar. I chose Gayatri for that and not Pallavi because I knew that that particular song has I wanted that voice texture, right?
The combination matched the
Same
best.
with City Lights. The way Shubha has taken the composition to another level. Okay, all I did was I just gave her the structure. This is what it is. There are these two lines that you have to sing, and this is what it is. In between, it goes into Malkos, and then you get out of that. So the structuring I did completely, and then she came and did the rest of it.
Yeah.
Right. So then Nitin Malik has sung in Depths of the Ocean. Again, I wanted that high-pitched voice out there, and I could not have thought of anybody else but Nitin out there. Then there is Shari Roy, who's a cousin of mine, who was the voice of the Nakshal movement way back, 40 years back. So I grew up listening to her. She was magical at one point of time, and then she lost her voice. But what she's done in that song is again fantastic. And I won't say that Ocean to Ocean does not have collaborations. Firstly, there's a collaboration with Bernie Marston and all my band members. Why should I? They are equally fantastic musicians. So it's not this that I do not have collaborations in that.
So we've talked about a long shift in career, right? And how evolving within that has not always been easy, right? Like, as you said, you are technically challenged, though I have doubts on that. How do you stay how do you stay on top of it then? For 40 years, as things change, as things move, right?
So hold on. Technically challenged, I'll tell you how. I have stuck to the acoustic guitar. Why? Because I cannot deal with the kind of equipment that an electric guitar player has, all the compression and distortion and everything. So those things scare me. Okay. And not this that I don't have certain other kinds of guitar tones in my mind, but for me to handle all that it becomes so technically challenged. I can tell you this much. But yes, how have I?
How have you adapted with it then?
From analog to digital.
From analog to digital, to music styles changing, to the way people consume music changing, because a lot evolves over, say, a decade. You have had multiple.
So the thing is that now there are various aspects to it. Now, which aspect? Look, when I was in my first or second year, I remember an uncle of mine had taken me to IIT Delhi, to show me the mainframe computer of those times. It was 3 stories high. Okay. Today, the phone that we have in our palms are about maybe 1,000 times more powerful that three-storied high. So my generation has seen that kind of a sea change, right? And it has happened in various different ways. Because when I started working, I remember we could smoke in the aircrafts.
Yeah.
We could take our own whiskey or rum and have it. Then came a time when the airlines themselves started giving us beer, right? So from there, and I remember in 82 or 83, I had gone to Kashmir on an air ticket. The air ticket was in my uncle's name. He fell sick, so I went in his name. I traveled. And look at the insecurity that has come into our world. Slowly and steadily. We talk about efficiency, but I call it insecurity. Okay. We are so bloody insecure in today's date. Right? So all these, so the shift is not just technical, it's mental. And that's the most dangerous part.
How do you continue moving about the world with that shift happening around you? How do you keep your sanity in check?
Well, I guess I've learned to deal with all these things. I try telling people, I mean, if you go check into a hotel, the key would not allow you to go to any other floor. It'll take you only to that particular floor where your room is. Now, these are all insecurities, nothing but insecurities. You can say that, look how technologically advanced this particular hotel is. But I'm saying that, so what? Use technology in various other better ways.
Yeah. How do you change that in when go ahead. Like,
so how I look at things is that when any kind of major technological breakthrough happens, it takes individuals to adjust to it, a long time. I'll give you an example. When the Moog synthesizer, the first synthesizer which was invented, that was invented around the 30s or 40s. Okay, all musicians had it with them, but complete trash was happening to them. Okay. Ultimately, it was Pink Floyd who actually used that particular sound in an expressive manner. So it took how many years? Almost 40 years. When celluloid film turned from black and white to color, first decade or so, there was no good film. It was so, so taken by the color. So you were not getting good films at all. So again, it took decades. Now imagine, now technology has been given to the public, not one individual. The public, social media, just taking this particular thing. So now to change the mindset of the masses, I do not know how many decades it's going to happen, take to be able to use this particular technology in a mature manner.
Do you think there's technology back when you were younger that's now been applied better then?
Yeah, sure. One is the synthesizer, one is color films. So don't forget, I come from the era where all these changes have happened.
Yeah, so the adaptation process is constant for you with every new thing coming in. Which must be quite interesting when you work with people who are younger, when you work around, when you're in an industry where people younger and younger keep popping up. How is that process then, working with them? When there is
the process, firstly, I ask them not to call me sir. Okay. I also ask them not to call me uncle. Susmit is good enough. So there are ways of doing. There are some very serious musicians who still come to me for guidance and things like that. I really like having those sessions with them. So some people are trained, some people are not trained. I was an untrained. I'm still an untrained musician. But just because I have acquired those technical knowledge in music, it is easier to work with a person at this point of time who has some technical knowledge. Okay, who knows about scales. If you're talking about Western classical, then a person should know about harmonies, chord progressions, various things. When it comes to Indian classical, then people should be aware of the different beat patterns are there, how to explore beat patterns, what are different scales, what is a tat and what is a mode, and what is a rag, you know. So not this that I know it all. So I keep discovering and I keep being told, oh, you have composed something in this rag. I say, oh, really?
Being told is interesting.
Yeah. Each time that I compose something.
So it's a constant learning on both ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you think sustaining in this industry has changed over the years for artists, including yourself?
It has taken a complete turn. Okay. It has taken a complete turn. A lot of people get from huge amount of streaming and things like that they are making money. But the kind of music that we play, obviously it is not making money out of streaming and things like that.
I think today's artists are very aware of that as well. Like
Yeah.
a lot of artists I talk to or work with, they're very clear on the fact that yes, we need a parallel career that sustains our music career to give us an income source.
So for me, right from the very beginning, it was that I want to make good music. I want to make music that people have never heard before. I want to give people an experience of various different kinds of emotions, storytelling, and things like that. And I always told myself, if you are doing something good, you will be recognized. So I was recognized, but much, much later. It took me 10 years after forming Indian Ocean, more than 10 years, before we started getting certain amount of recognition and popularity.
Yeah.
First 5 years, we did only 7 shows. Can you imagine?
I can actually. Artists today also have this struggle of getting in, of like.
Today, if people form a band, within 3 months, they would have played about 5 shows.
Accessibility does change a lot, I guess. Yeah. 7 shows in 5 years is crazy. Does it become easier for you now, knowing that it shifted? It's more easy for you to move?
No, it does not make it simpler. The thing is that when social media came in, when Facebook and earlier it was just Facebook, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic, which took us more than 10 years to spread to the world that yes, we are there. Our presence was felt. People are doing it within days because they could reach out to so many people at the same time. But in the process, what happened was that there are people, firstly, who, in my opinion, they are not musicians. I don't call them musicians, who basically mix and match different loops and different sounds and so on and so forth. And they call it composition. Okay, some of them become very popular also. They can be popular. But the social media now is so full of trash. I think people have forgotten how to choose good music and what it is to listen to good music.
Oversaturation.
Massive.
Yeah. How do you maintain your voice there? Because it is something you have to be on, present.
Not this that I'm trying very hard.
You still are around though.
I'm there. I am performing. I am doing my compositions. And as and when I'll get the money for my next album, I'll produce more stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. Now that being said, we have something for you.
Really?
Yes. This is something we do on our podcast as a practice, because inviting someone on is like bringing a guest in to your home. right? And you can't leave people empty-handed when they come to visit you. So
Wow.
this is for you. This is done by a lovely artist friend, Mehak.
Oh, thank you so much.
We hope you like it.
Thank you so much. You must see this. Who's the artist?
Mehak.
Mehak.
Yeah, she's a friend of ours. She like goes to college in the day and in the evening she's an artist now.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you. And
Thank you
thanks
so
to
much.
Meher. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And we hope to see new music soon.
Sure.
That being said, see you on the next one, guys. Bye. Bye.